Good evening. Welcome to our Careers Flavours session on sport and fitness. Really glad to have you on board. We're joined tonight by Zara, who is a member of YAG and has an interest in sports and fitness. And we have Nicole, who runs her own yoga business, and Ryan, who is a former football coach. So I'm going to turn my camera off now and hand it over to Zara, who's going to be hosting tonight's event. And yeah, hope you all enjoy.
Hey, hello everybody, I'm Zara. As Jimmy said, I'm a part of the CF YAG group and I have cystic fibrosis myself. So I think we can get started. And could you both tell me a little bit about your career and how you got started in the fitness industry?
Yeah, so my name's Nicole. I would say, in a nutshell, I run two businesses in the wellness industry, one of which I'm a yoga teacher, and the other is I'm a studio owner. I've been teaching yoga for about 8 years now and slowly built up the business from there. But I actually started with studying sport and exercise science at college and then was a fitness instructor and just started to gather qualifications from there. So always had my foot in the sports, fitness, wellness industry. But yeah, up until about 5 years ago, I was doing everything. And then I niched down and just continued with yoga.
With myself, I worked for Aston Villa for about 10 years. And it all started just from work experience. And I had the love for football coaching then. So after I left school, I went to college. I got the minimal qualifications and other qualifications and experience to support that. And then luckily a part-time role came at Aston Villa and I support that team as well. So that was a bonus. And yeah, over the 10 years that I was at Aston Villa, most of my role was working with young people to develop them by delivering sessions and trying to scout them into our academy. And then I progressed my career within that role as a football development officer when I had to run my own area and doing the business sector, part of that sector. So to bring revenue and also develop players in that area and have a staff underneath me as well. Over them 10 years, though, I have done different roles, working with disability football, girls, and also the elderly, doing fitness programs as well. And then the last few years was working with the college under-18s Villa team. So education program first, but it was, if we can try and filter them into our academy system, that'll be ideal. So yeah, that's it really in a nutshell.
Great, thank you for that. So it sounds like you both initially found your love for sport and fitness and then turned that into a career out of your passion, which is just great. What was it about this sector, would you say, that particularly appealed you?
So straight away, the first thing that pops in my head is that it benefited my health. So I knew I wanted to find a career that didn't make me sit all the time, and that I was keeping active, using it as part of my physiotherapy. That was like one of the top main reasons. Also, my jobs allowed me to travel quite a lot. I was a fitness instructor in Greece for 2 summers. So I was able to work out there in the hot, dry climate, which was really good, obviously, for my health. So I love traveling and I've been able to then teach yoga subsequently in a couple of different countries, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Greece. And I now run yoga retreats across Europe. So now I've built up the business enough that I knew that it could take me to other countries. So I now run retreats in Spain, Ibiza, Morocco, which is super cool. And another thing I really liked about the career and like what kind of drew me to it was that I could slowly build up like a portfolio or like a CV with lots of different qualifications. So I chose to not go to university. I did get a place. I was going to go and then I deferred and then just never went. But actually I was able to fill up my CV with lots of different qualifications, from spin instructor, box size, did my fitness level 2, my personal trainer level 3. And actually my CV looked really kind of like full of great qualifications, which kind of was a great collection of skills, and just getting my confidence in standing in front of people, obviously running and leading classes. That yeah, I really found that doing lots of qualifications was better, and again better for my health than doing a 3-4 year degree. That's just what I personally wanted to do. But yeah, they're kind of the main reasons why I really enjoy the sector.
Right.
Yeah, so for myself, the main thing that appealed to me, I've always been a competitive person. I loved being doing sports and obviously football. And the kind of obviously the downside, as we know, CF sometimes it can limit us. So it did limit me playing football. So the great saying, if you can't do it, teach it. And seemed quite like a short answer, but I I was always going to be involved in football either way, and I gained the love for coaching and developing others. So yeah, so as I said, if I couldn't play football, I'd still try and play now, or I try. Yeah, I think I've got really good enjoyment by developing others and seeing them develop their career. Yeah, quite short really, but I was really that appealed to me, just being involved in something competitive, and that's something that I love.
Yeah, great. I think we have lightly touched on this subject already, but what qualifications did you need to get started, and how did you find balancing living with CF and getting your qualifications to pursue your career that you've dreamed of?
Yeah, so I think I've touched a little bit on kind of where I started. But let's talk kind of more recently. So yeah, I went away and did my 200-hour yoga teacher training qualification, which allows you to be a qualified yoga teacher. Did that in the March of 2019. And that was kind of allowing me to really start what I wanted to do, because I was able to have that qualification. But subsequently, I've ended up doing an events management and digital marketing qualification, which has helped me actually run the business better. So I run a lot of wellness events, as I said, retreats. So I've done other qualifications even since starting the business, which again has been really great. Just learning along the way and looking at all the other parts of running a business, not just teaching yoga, which I know we're going to touch on later, kind of what it looks like day to day. But there's other parts of what I do which isn't just teaching. And yeah, remind me of the second part of the question.
How did you find managing CF alongside getting your qualifications?
Yes. I think I've touched on this a little bit already, but I knew that I probably couldn't commit myself at that time to a 3-4 year degree. My health wasn't great around that period, and I actually missed quite a lot of college. So I knew that getting a degree and going and moving to go to university just was not the right answer for me. So yeah, doing these short courses, or these like 1 month intensive qualifications were much better suited. So I knew I didn't have to dedicate myself 4 years to get one degree.
From the football coaching part, I didn't go to university. I did go to college, but you don't need to go to college. So I've done lots of other qualifications to support me in my role, but to get into football coaching itself, you just go through, and all football sports have their own governing body. So within football, they have the FA. So the minimal qualification you need, which employees look for, is the FA Level 2 football qualification, which I achieved when I was at college, alongside with MVQs, what I was doing at the same time. So that's the only qualification that you do need. So as I say, you don't need to go to uni or anything like that. But yeah, the FA have quite a good pathway of qualifications if you want to go down youth football, adult football, disability, and also looking at psychology as well. So I'd say there's lots of different avenues within football that you want to go down. And the FA have quite a good chart, I would say, how you can go in that sector. So yeah, that's the minimum that you do need probably to get started in the role. And I'd say how it probably affected my CF, not too much, because they are short courses. When you probably do 2 weeks, then you got to go and deliver it out and get your practice in, then come back for assessment. And I was always disclosing my CF to my course leads when I was on any of them, and they supported me if I was, for example, on IVs and I was missing some weeks, or anything like that. So yeah, I found the qualifications quite, because I had the interest, easy enough. Obviously, I was quite young when I was doing it, so just yeah, the hardest part is yeah, getting the mindset how to coach instead of actually play. So yeah.
Yeah, it's really great to hear that CF didn't have a negative impact on you pursuing what you wanted to do. And I think that's very important for people to know, that obviously for some fitness industries, it is quite intensive and it is quite full on, but it is kind of learn on the go in some aspects. Like, you do get your qualifications, like you said, it's not uni where it's like that intensive drilled in for 3-4 years. It's you're learning in chunks and then you're doing, which I think is really great, particularly with someone with CF. So that's really nice to hear. What would you say has been the biggest challenge for you in the industry, or even becoming into your role and having CF?
So I wrote some things down here. It was actually quite hard to think of challenges because, as Ryan's touched on, this is a huge passion of mine, and it's a passion that's turned into a career. So I never really found a burden upon my job. I always had other part-time jobs alongside just to add into that. I didn't just start my yoga business and go fully self-employed straight away. I've only been self-employed for a year. I've always had full-time or part-time job. Now, that is the part I've struggled with, is because to fulfill my passion, I haven't relied on it as my sole income. So therefore, I've always had another job. So I started off with a part-time job, then had a full-time job, then dropped back down to part-time because his business was growing. I've worked in different sectors. I've worked for the police for a bit. I've worked in the charity sector for a bit. I've worked in the community sports sector for a bit. And that has been a challenge, because how I've really wanted to keep that passion alive and strive for kind of where I am now. But then over the last 5-6 years, I've had to juggle different jobs. So that has been challenging. I wrote here FOMO. I have like severe fear of missing out. So kind of going back to college, I missed, I say, quite a lot of college. Luckily with my job, I haven't missed out because I am my own boss. So I'm able to tailor my workload. And I say that's a positive. If you flip it on its head, a benefit of my job role now is that I get to manage my workload and work at my best hours of the day and give myself dedicated time off. But that has been a challenge, like if I was working in Greece, I was under their fitness schedule. I had to teach these classes, yeah. So that was hard because I was exhausted. My manager was great though. They fully knew about my cystic fibrosis and they were very adaptable. But not wanting to feel like I was being a burden has always been a challenge for me. Reminding myself that it's okay to have extra rest and it's okay to, it's okay if I miss out one night or miss out on one thing. Managing that work-life balance has always been a challenge for me, and that's kind of what I even strive to now in terms of what I teach my clients, is finding the work-life balance, and allowing there to be quiet and gentle periods, because we can't be a rocket every single day, and maybe we can't keep in line or keep up with our peers or our colleagues. And again, I think no matter what career you go in, it's really important that you're really transparent with who you work with about your CF. Because I've been able to adapt my hours at work. Again, all of this would have been a much tougher challenge if I hadn't have been honest and transparent and told them exactly how I feel. So FOMO and managing your workload is something that I've struggled with and now have found balance with. But it's been a journey, definitely.
I'd say for myself, challenge, I'll probably answer like a 2-part, like CF and within the role itself. So from a CF point of view, with the main challenge was fitting in treatment as best as I could, because within coaching, you are working in the day and also a lot of evenings and weekends. So I may sometimes miss, like, which is the larger part of my treatment, nebulizers. So there'll be some nebulizers that I may miss if I'm too tired when I get in from work, or if it's early in the morning for Saturday if there's a match. So I'd say they're a negative, but it was only a little negative. I hardly did miss my treatment. And also as well, if I needed IVs, as Nicole said, I had quite a transparent manager as well. I was honest about my CF. First, I did hide my CF when I was part-time, because I didn't want to be treated different. But when I did come full-time, I was completely honest. I spoke to my social worker before. They gave me a letter to support me and talk about my CF. I handed it in, and they just said, if you need anything, just shout and we'll help you. And I was probably having sometimes IVs 3 times, 4 times a year. And because it was quite a lot, Aston Villa is a large, very organisation. They could find cover and support me the best way they could. But overall, I'd say when I was working at Villa, I was at my fittest, because I probably could say, Nicole could say as well, it's quite, in the sporting sector, it's quite an active role, so you're always moving. So I was carrying like 30 footballs on my back most of the time when traveling to different places, setting up sessions, demonstrating what I want, and constantly moving, always on my feet. I love to find a chair to sit down at some time. It's one of those that was probably the main thing with CF, is that I found the benefit of was that was getting my physio just through moving. So it was more positive than negative. And then through the job role itself, if I progressing as a football development officer, I had to obviously gain probably more qualifications for the governing body for the FA. So the hardest qualification I did was my UEFA B license, which is like an international football qualification. And yeah, that was the toughest thing, because I had to understand the game better, delivering sessions at high intensity, and physically it was demanding as well. So I would say that was probably the biggest challenge when getting the qualification, but it helped me, benefit me, and then I progressed in that career. And yeah.
Right. It's, as you both have turned sort of a passion and a hobby to become a career, what is your favourite part of working in the fitness industry?
Obviously, I like really intertwine kind of like the yogic lifestyle on and off the mat. So a lot of what yoga has taught me mentally has helped me with my needle phobia, has helped me with hospital appointments, has helped me have less anxiety, has helped me feel more grounded. So that's all been great. And I really have intertwined kind of like what I love and enjoy about my job, again, into my lifestyle. My health is I'm really able to be in connected with my health. As Ryan just said, this industry keeps you fit. So it really helps with your physiotherapy. And more importantly, with yoga, it's called pranayama, which is your breath work, your life force, how you're breathing. So that's massively helped me with my physiotherapy, because there's other breath work techniques I've learned, breath work techniques of activating, energizing, and bringing a sense of heat and fire, and warming up the lungs and really kind of warming my body. And then other breathwork techniques that are a lot more soothing, restful, help kind of reduce anxiety and help with sleep. So I'm really able now to see that all these parts of my job, let's call it, has massively influenced my personal life and my CF life, which I'm very grateful for. And then also my mind-body connection. So we've mentioned being poorly, we've mentioned obviously having time away and going on IVs and being in hospital. I feel I'm very in tune with the signs and the symptoms of change within my body, because I'm able to see it at a level of certain fitness. And obviously I'm able to check in with myself on a daily basis, like if I'm teaching or if I'm on the yoga mat, in how I'm feeling. So not even just my lungs, or like, you know, if I'm feeling tight chested, but with my energy levels, with fatigue, with muscle or joint pain. And you can say that with any sport, you know, if you have a passion for something and you do it, you know, at least 3-4 times a week, you're going to really start to get to know your body and have that really strong mind-body connection. So I find with any sport, fitness, yoga, I'm really able to pick up on when maybe I am becoming poorly, or coughing, or my breath work in a certain exercise is changing because I'm tight chested, and I'm really in tune with that. So there are so many parts of my lifestyle and my career that have now helped with my CF life as well.
My favourite part, again, breaking it down from a CF point of view. So for the fitness, when doing my qualifications, learning how to deliver sessions, especially from the warm up. I learned a lot about how to move and get myself fit as well, because I have to demonstrate how to individuals how to move, and different breathing techniques to relax yourself at certain points. So I'd say, from a safe point of view, you are keeping very fit. From the job aspect, watching individuals, especially when I was working with young players, watching them develop, and I'll set them a challenge. You see the complete challenge, and the smile on the face is brilliant. And then you see their career develop with when you were overwatching them. And the best thing for me, which happened a few times, was because I was there for 10 years. I've delivered sessions to youngsters, and then when I was probably in the last few years before I left, I've seen some of these players that I developed in the late teens or in the 20s thanking me, because they've progressed, they've got into the highest academy at different clubs, or they're doing this, or they've got into coaching themselves. So I've inspired them. So I think making an impact on others is probably the biggest thing for me. Developing as many people as can, even if it's not youngsters. Even I was helping disability football girls, and also the elderly, just doing fitness programs, just seeing people get to A to B with their fitness or their journey within the sporting sector.
Great, thank you for that. I think for both of you, your kind of your hobbies, your passion, your lifestyle has become your career. So obviously it's made a massive part of your day-to-day and your week. Could you tell me a bit more about a standard week in your role?
As I mentioned, I run 2 businesses now. So one of them is Breathe with Ease, which is the yoga business. So here I am running weekly yoga classes, 5 in person and 2 online a week. I'm managing the website, wellness events that I do a couple of times a month, the 3 yoga retreats that I do every single year. So that's the planning of them, the advertising, everything, the preparations. And I work a little bit within the corporate sector within Breathe with Ease as well. So looking at colleagues and the work-life balance of people who work in an office. So I work a little bit in corporate, but mainly weekly classes. And I teach roughly between 50 to 70 clients a week in my weekly classes, if not more. And I really love that. And as I mentioned, the second business I have is called the Cystic, which is the studio. It's actually a 24-foot yurt. So like a wooden circular structure. It's very unique. It's got a log burner in it. That is a studio, which is a higher venue. So I have other people within the wellness and holistic sector hire the venue off me. So they might do their own classes, workshops, retreats, circles. They might have a private event. I've had a couple of parties there, a couple of hen dos. And again, I work with corporate, bringing people out of the city and into the countryside to do something in the studio. So in some respect, the Cystic is less active because that's a lot more of a sit-down role. Me running that business from my laptop, and then obviously in person running doing meetings and things for those to hire it. But my Breathe with Ease has guided me into that second business because it's kind of working in the same industry. But yeah, Breathe with Ease keeps me active. But yeah, I run both of those. So my week is teaching, running meetings, replying to emails, admin, invoicing. And then obviously I make sure that I do my own yoga in that time, maybe once, twice a week. But going back into work-life balance, it's so important for me every single day to be active. It doesn't have to be yoga. I'm up most mornings getting steps in. I live really close to the seafront, so I'm getting my 10,000 steps in every single day. I'm keeping active. Obviously, I'm teaching maybe one of those days, at least once, maybe each day, or doing something a bit more cardio related. So I'm always making sure that, let's say, for example, I have got a day sitting for quite a few hours because I'm doing work on my laptop, then I am making sure that I'm up in the morning doing something active. And then in the evening, maybe I'm doing something a bit more gentle. But yeah, my weeks are kind of similar. There is a sense of routine, obviously, especially with the weekly classes, and that keeps me accountable. But yeah, still finding that work-life balance and making sure I'm active, even if I'm having a day of sitting down.
From a football coaching point of view, so within the day side, you're either delivering sessions within community centres or a school. And from when I was a football development officer, I had to go from the business side. I had to go and do the approach to schools or the community centres and basically sell a business of what we can offer, of the sessions we deliver, how we scout children, develop their development. So that was mainly the day part, and also as well planning and preparation, the sessions, the syllabus. So it was, everything was run professionally and at each point of the week of each term. And when I was working with the college team, basically running a normal football team, because I didn't do the education side too much on that part. I was mainly doing the technical, tactical delivery sessions. And on the evenings, which you have to work quite a lot of evenings and weekends because it's football, that's when most people are available. You are either doing a skill centre, which is for young people to introduce them to football, which is not too serious, or development centres, which is quite more advanced, having invited players to develop their sessions and try and really get into our academy system. And then the weekends, football, to play on the weekends, that's match day. So when I was with my under-18s team, so yeah, you are working a lot of evenings and weekends. And I did work that for 10 years. And the question, why did I leave? Because I really enjoyed that role. I had children and I had to make a decision because of the high demand of the coaching. I wasn't seeing my children enough because I was probably working late quite a lot. So I did decide to leave that role after the 10 years. But I could, when my son grows up and he's in his own team, I'll probably get back into it again and pick it back up, which I think I'll find pretty easy enough. But yeah, from that aspect, it is quite a high demanding role from like working evenings and weekends. So you probably have to be aware of that. And yeah, working in the day is probably the best part, which is most easy. But yeah.
Great, thanks for that. Sounds quite full on, but you both seem to be managing it very well. So hats off to you. What would be the best tip you would give someone looking to pursue a career in your sector?
Let's talk specifically within the yoga sector, is to just enjoy your self-practice. So get yourself to classes, join online yoga videos, join online classes in person. Just get to know yoga a little bit more from your own personal level, because the more you get to know yourself, the better teacher you'll be. Also, even get a qualification that's similar, if you like something like fitness, just to get you standing up in front of a room full of people, because some people would love to be a fitness instructor, spin teacher, yoga teacher. They love the idea of it, and then the minute they get up in front of the class, they freeze. So it's super important to gain the sense of confidence that you're in charge. Same probably with Ryan running kind of like the sports training sessions. You kind of have to build up that confidence to kind of like lead the room, and make sure that everyone respects you and listens to you. So yeah, I'd say in terms of what I'm doing, yeah, self-practice is really important. Get yourself to classes, get yourself in the industry, meet new people within the industry that are also interested in what you do, connect with other yoga teachers, or if you have a yoga teacher close by, reach out to them and ask them about their own career path and how they got to where they are today. And then maybe you could like see them more often, or you could be they could be one of your mentors. And not to think too much about needing to gain large and expensive qualifications right away. Because yes, to be a yoga teacher, a qualified one, you do have to have your 200-hour training as your minimum, as your foundation. But that is quite an outgoing. It's going to cost you a couple £1,000 to get that, and it might be that you do it over a year, or you do an intensive over 2 months. So don't have that as a real pressure upon yourself. Maybe get like a 50-hour training beforehand, or get something related into the industry again, just to gain some confidence and not feel like you've got to put all your money into one thing. So yeah, I think that's everything.
The best tip from me, from the working football coaching, firstly, have a passion, as Nicole has mentioned. If you don't have a passion within it, you'll probably will struggle, because that will affect your delivery. So yeah, have that passion within the sector you want to be in, and then you will perform better. You'll plan better. You will deliver better, and then you'll see your planning and preparation. You'll see the session itself, how well it's going, and the impact it's making on individuals. Another thing I'd say as well, when being the best tip, is actually just be yourself as best as you can, and try not be a copycat of someone else within coaching. So be inspired, but don't copy someone. That's very important, because as I mentioned, when the young person recognised me 10 years down the line, when I first coached them when I was very little, you make a really big impact on individuals. So yeah, have your own coaching style, or your teaching point of view. As Nicole said, yeah, you stand in front of quite a lot of people. I remember when I first joined, when I was 18, and I had to do an assembly. I was like, oh, what is that? It was quite a big shock, but I got used to it over the years, doing presentations and delivering to a large scale of people. And it's quite a sense of acting. It's how I do coaching compared to my personal life. It's completely different how I talk. So that's the main thing. It's how you present yourself. It's like a teacher version of you. You have two sides of you. So yeah, just be yourself, authentic, and have that passion in there.
Great. Well, thank you so much, guys. That is all the questions from me. But thank you. You've been great, and your answers have been really helpful.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Yeah, thank you. That was really fantastic from all of you. This question's probably specifically towards Nicole. You mentioned that you've kind of travelled with your role, and I just wondered how what was how did you kind of overcome some of the challenges with kind of delivering this role for periods of time overseas, and kind of managing your treatment around kind of being abroad in different climates, and what would be your kind of tips, and it'd just be really valuable getting some insight on how you approach that.
As I mentioned, I've worked in a couple of different countries. The most important thing is that I was of a decent health prior to even leaving. That's really important. So sometimes I would even have a course of IVs before I went, make sure that I was trying to suppress or get rid of any of those infections prior to going. So I was at my fittest before going away. I was very close. I have always been very close with my cystic fibrosis team, obviously being completely transparent with them as to what I'm doing and where I'm going, and then made sure that I had enough medication to go with. I took around 3 months of medication with me, and then had the rest of it come over with a friend. So they had a suitcase of extra medication for the second 3 months. And then the year after, I went home in the middle of it, got the extra meds myself, and then took them back to Greece. I mean, being in Greece is hot, dry heat. It's perfect for CF. No sense of difficulty. Being in the sun was really good for me. I made sure I had extra electrolytes and salt tablets because I was sweating quite a lot. But yeah, I really enjoyed the life it gave me. I also took kind of like standby oral antibiotics in case I needed them, which I think I did use them. And again, would order more and then have them either posted out to me or whoever was coming out to visit would bring them. So the medication wise was help kind of like looked after really well. Um, and then yeah, I've worked, like I said, in kind of like Thailand and Sri Lanka teaching yoga, which obviously the climate is a little bit different. But I did go in dry seasons of both of those countries, so I wasn't there when it was raining and miserable weather. And just to make a point on that, I left to go to Sri Lanka and Thailand when the weather was terrible in the UK because I get really poorly quite often in the winter. So when everyone was getting their coughs and colds, I was like, see you later. And again, the whole process, making sure that I was fit enough, healthy enough, had the right medication with me, the right documentation. So I always got a letter from my GP and my cystic fibrosis team to say, yep, she's fit to fly. Yes, we agree. Yes, we know she's going. Here's her updated prescriptions list. Here's her health, like, yes, I've got health insurance. Yes, I've got travel insurance, all that. So just being a little bit more organized and taking hard copies and paperwork if you ever need it. And touch wood, I have never even had to declare anything. No one's ever wanted me to open up the suitcase. No one's ever asked me like what tablet is that. I've been to other countries traveling. I haven't worked in like every country I've been to, but I have been to I've traveled quite a lot of Indonesia, I've traveled Australia, and a lot of Europe, and I've never had anybody ask me to get the paperwork out that I've brought with me, but it's just for peace of mind. So I think I've kind of answered all the questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's really, really helpful and really insightful.
Being in such like a hands-on role where you're coming into contact with lots of different people all the time, quite close, how have you managed making sure that you're not coming into such close contact with other people with CF? I mean, obviously, day to day, you could be on a plane, you could be on a bus, you could literally be anywhere with someone with CF and you just wouldn't know. But how have you managed in your career trying to avoid the cross-contamination of meeting others with CF?
I'll go first. So a very interesting one. I've had a story where I've come across a child that's had CF and I'm at the same school. Actually, I've had that twice happen to me over the 10 years. So it's quite very rare. The first was accident when they're in the same hall, and then I asked for can I have the medical information, and I found out this individual has CF, and then straight away I just bring the teacher out the room. I'll go out the room with them and just say I've got CF, and then they just probably bring them out, and then we plan a time that we don't come across each other. Most of the time that I've already declared my CF to the community centre or to the school that I'm probably working in. So if they've got any children that with CF, they will put a plan in place. So yeah, it's one of those. It can happen that you could come across somebody, but yeah, if you're just quite open at the start, yeah, you can avoid cross contamination. But obviously, you come across anyone. I might have come across someone with CF when they come to like open sessions, and and it's literally they come into the sessions and pay, and I don't know their medical history, but it's one of those. And the big thing with the role that I had was I was coming in contact, obviously, with lots of different groups of people. So I was probably getting colds more, and sometimes had to go in IVs after. I was hoping I was building my immune system, but that's part of the job. You've been in the same room as different individuals, and but yeah, as I say, I was at my fittest point over them 10 years because I was constantly moving, yeah, but it's quite a it is a challenge, but I wouldn't say it was the biggest challenge for me.
Yeah, so I have a very similar story to Ryan. As I mentioned, I was a community sports coach at one point as I was building my yoga business. And we were already fully aware that there was a child at this primary school that has cystic fibrosis. And I used to go into the school for lunch time and after school clubs running different sports and fitness activities. And we were just really transparent. The little girl knew that Miss Nicole also had CF, and we used to wave at each other from afar, and I used to like say to her, "You're doing great," but then she'd be running around. We'd be outside, so again, you've mitigated the risk quite literally there and then. Obviously I didn't crouch down or go near her. So that was nice because we kind of like shared a little bond and we'd wave at each other, which was quite nice. I had a girl year below me at secondary school that had CF, and we'd always pass each other in the corridor and always again be aware of each other, message each other through Instagram, but then obviously never speak in person. So again, there's actually 2 people in my hometown with CF as well. It's because we know each other through social media, but if we didn't, it is what it is. It's life, isn't it? It's the risk that you take every single day. Same with flights. If I'm feeling as though I need to wear a mask because someone near me is coughing, then I will put a mask on. Sometimes I wear a mask, sometimes I don't. I'm being brutally honest. I don't always wear a mask on flights. But yeah, I've always carried the ethos, the kind of vibe of where can I mitigate risk? Where can I actually change the situation? Sometimes I can't. If I'm able to, then yes. So for example, working for certain companies, I tell them straight away. I say, I can't. If we're a team of 50 active staff on a summer season, then just FYI, no one else can have CF. So yeah, just being honest. And when those situations do come about where you are near somebody, again, just seeing how you can manage the situation. And I've had no negative stories, no actual hiccups or problems. So yeah, I think that's everything.
For someone like yourself that's moved away from football or coaching, didn't necessarily want to because they thoroughly enjoyed the role, what kind of transferable skills can you take from that and apply to a future career?
I would mainly say because you develop how to deliver sessions. When I left Villa, I did something completely different. I went into IT because I've got an interest with computers. But what other roles I was actually applying for, because I knew that I could do delivery of talking, trying to get the best out of individuals, was online coaching. And that was because that was in the education sector, really. Just because when I was coaching football, sometimes I was on courses when I was coaching football through maths, English, science, history, just to try and help children enjoy football. So I always knew that I was always good at talking and getting the best and having my own teaching style, coaching style. So yeah, I think the transferable skills is doing online sessions of how you want to do, or for example, create your own YouTube channel and demonstrate how to do different types of coaching, or how to dribble the ball, or anything like that, really. And yeah, people do watch it, and there's a lot of content out there. You can make content creation through the sector that you want, if you know that you've got the passion, you've got the knowledge and understanding. So yeah, just I think that's the transferable skills, is using the online world as well.
Brilliant, thank you. Give you an opportunity now to kind of sample yoga, and Nicole's got a short kind of exercise that she's going to run through with us all. So I'll hand over to Nicole, and she's going to do this short exercise, and hopefully you all enjoy that, and that'll be our way of closing the session.
So yeah, I just really wanted to mention what we're going to do first. So a lot of what yoga is about isn't just to do with your physical body. So people often have that misconception of you have to be flexible to do yoga, or yoga to do with your physical body. And actually there's so much more to it. So your kind of mentality, the mindfulness, again, I mentioned breath work, and then the physical part of the body as well. But most importantly, it's even learning the mind-body connection. We all have the voice in our mind that chats away and distracts us. So how can we quieten down kind of like the monkey in our mind, but also just be more present? I think that's what CF has really taught me, is that I can be present, and it's important to be present, especially when you're well, because you shouldn't always think too far into the future. And I never have done. And I feel yoga also really helps me bring that element of it into my life, where I get to enjoy the present a lot better, because again, I have that better mind-body connection. So I'm going to guide you through a real gentle full body scan, and then we're going to go into some yogic breathing together. So if you are sitting, try and have your feet flat on the floor if you can, or you can lie down, or you can stand up. Just make sure that your feet are grounded. I'm going to just come back a little bit. So I've just like scooted myself forwards on my chair so that my heels are on the ground. And then I would like you to place your left hand directly into the center of your chest, and then your right hand onto your lower belly, just below the belly button, and then just settle the shoulders. So ideally, you're not leaning back now into a chair or into a sofa. You're able to grow a little bit taller from the crown of your head. I'm going to go even further back. So you're able to kind of hold yourself up. And now you can either take a gentle gaze past the camera, or you can just completely close off your eyes. And I want us just to firstly bring awareness to our natural breathing. So how does this feel as you're just observing? So you might feel that your hands are moving as you breathe. Probably quite gentle, maybe feeling a little bit more in the left hand than the right hand. And we're ideally wanting to breathe in and out through our nose. So see it as a bit of a cycle. You're going to inhale slowly. Feel that slight coolness through your nostrils. And as you exhale out the nose, feeling that warmth out the nostrils. Before we start our full body scan, I'd like to ask yourself how you're actually feeling within the mind and the physical body. As you're breathing now, is there any feelings of tightness, discomfort? Are you able to kind of surrender down into the seat bones? Can you sit a little bit deeper, grounding down, and then settle the shoulders? Okay, let's draw our attention now to our feet. So ideally, you're going to close off your eyes. We're going to focus inwardly now on how we're feeling. So maybe just gently wiggling the toes, flexing, pointing, connecting the balls of the feet and the heels, grounding them into the floor. And then draw your attention to your ankles, traveling up past your shins, calf muscles, and knees. And again, just see if those knees are aligned with the hips. Your heels are underneath your knees, creating that nice 90-degree bend. Travel your awareness now past your thighs, your hamstrings, and draw your attention to your seat bones. How are you able to ground down into your chair or into the floor if you're sitting on the mat? And bring your attention to that right hand on the lower belly. We're going to come to that slightly deeper abdominal breath. So now as you breathe in, I want you to actively push your belly button, push your belly out, as if you're pressing the belly into that right hand. As you exhale, you're going to just slightly draw the belly button in, find that gentle engagement of the abdominal muscles, and sit deeper into the seat bones. So give that another go. Inhale, pushing the belly away. Exhale, relaxing into the tummy and settling down into the seat bones. One more time, pushing away. And drawing in. Good. As you naturally breathe, let's continue this full body scan, coming all the way up the spine, past our lower back, around the base of our rib cage. Not even just your ribs at the front. Think about them wrapping around and your ribs at the back, your shoulder blades, and maybe taking a roll or two of your shoulders, taking them back, pressing them down away from the ears. Settling your elbows, relax the fingertips on the body. And bring your attention now to that left hand. So not only are we going to focus on the right, we're going to focus on the left hand as well. So this time as you breathe in, yes, you're going to push the belly away, but also start to now expand the lungs a little bit more than you have done and feel your left hand also slightly push away. Exhale, it will be left hand resting first and then right hand belly relaxing. So inhale, pushing the belly away, expand the lungs, lift the chest. Exhale, relax the chest first and then sink into those seat bones and engage into the belly. Let's try it one more time together. Inhale, belly pushing away, expanding the lungs, lift the chest. And exhale, resting the chest and grounding, settling into the belly. Good. Let's now check in with our jaw. Are you clenching your teeth together? Relax your lips and tongue. Remove any frowning from your forehead. And continue that line from the base of your spine all the way up your back. Resting those shoulders. You're now growing taller from the crown of your head. Can you sit up taller? Can you lift that chin away from your chest? And allowing there to be no tension left within the face, relaxing the eyelids. So we've completed that full body scan. We're going to just take a couple of yogic breaths to finish. So I'm going to guide you through. We're going to inhale for 3, exhale for 5. So when you're ready, start to breathe in, again, belly pushing away, expand the lungs for 1, 2, 3. Exhale out the nose, 5, control it, 4, 3, settling 2, squeeze 1. Inhale 1, push the belly away 2, expand the lungs 3, grow taller. Exhale, settle 5, 4, 3, settling 2, grounding 1. Twice more, inhale 1, push the belly away 2, expand the lungs 3, grow tall. Exhale, control 5, 4, settling 3, ground 2. Exhale that last little bit, 1. Last time together, inhale 1, 2, keep going, 3. Can you breathe in that a little bit more than before? And exhale softly, 5. Out of the nose, 4. Grounding 3. Squeeze 2. Empty 1. Natural breathing. Maybe you have that better connection now with your respiratory system, with your body, and you are actually mindful for these 5 to 6 minutes. We are focusing and enjoying the complete present moment. Find a gentle smile. Flutter the eyelids and open the eyes. There you go. I hope you enjoyed.
Thank you, Nicole. That's really great, and yeah, I do find that kind of mindfulness exercise really a great way to finish a working day. And yes, team me up perfectly for the remainder of the evening. I just wanted to close by saying thank you to each of you, Nicole and Ryan, for providing your insight, and Zara for being a fantastic host.